I want to talk about that banning stock training for or trading for members of Congress because this seems like a rare moment that there's legislation that's a nonpartisan and b it seems almost like a no-brainer to ban stock trading for members of Congress as well as their families. And a bipartisan group, including yourself, introduced the Restore Trust in Congress Act, which would prohibit lawmakers from trading individual stocks. And if you saw the press conference yesterday, like I did, you were a part of it. I mean, it was quite a crew, right? I mean, it was everyone on the political spectrum. You had yourself, you had Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Chip Roy, Brian Fitzpatrick, amongst others. I mean, what did those conversations look like behind closed doors?
Well, we all talked right before the press conference, and I can tell you that everyone has the same general consensus. It was interesting. Fitzpatrick actually pointed out that when we all ran in some capacity, we all came because we realized that the institution was corrupt and we wanted to bring that fundamental change. And I think that this is a rare opportunity that we have because it's such a slim majority, but also understand that there are people that are saying, well, I shouldn't, be limited, this, that, and the other. And so my response to them is if you want to trade stock, I completely support that, but don't be in Congress and do it. And that's because we are given access to certain information. We have meetings with the heads of a lot of these companies, CEOs. All of our decisions are directly affecting the market, and we know it's going to affect the market. So we are literally getting insider information before these big purchases, and that's why you have people that are making, initially $175,000 a year come out worth over $200 million.
I'm curious what the pushback is because it was mentioned a few times in that conference yesterday that about 95% of Americans support this, but there's members of Congress who are quietly behind the scenes. Congressman Magaziner said opponents are quietly being vocal about this behind closed doors. Congressman Burchett told me this earlier this year, quote, "I've been told to quit talking about stuff like this by some of our leadership." And I said, well, it's the truth though, right? And they said, well, yeah, but some members of leadership aren't real happy about when I talk about things like this. So I don't think it'll go anywhere. It seems like it's gaining traction though. Who are these people who are quietly behind the scenes, your opponents?
It's mainly the ones that are the top insider traders in Congress. And so you can find all of those names online. There's a lot of websites that are tracking some of the top members of insider trade. And unfortunately, it's some of our own members people in leadership that are some of the top traders in Congress. And so what I will tell you is it's not an easy task, but this is a pretty cut and dry issue. The American people are with us, and that's all that matters. I frankly don't care if I piss off some of my colleagues because it's so corrupt. And if you saw what I saw, I think the American people would be like, how could you, you guys are up here literally worried about your checkbook, making decisions that are supposed to impact the American people. You actually don't give a shit if it, excuse my language, but if you don't give a shit if it impacts the markets because you guys are literally profiting whether it's good or bad. And that's wrong.
I mean, what are those conversations then like behind closed doors? I mean, what is their argument? I can make money. I mean,
I have been told, okay, that me and Burchett were both told this, that we were going to cost the Republic, that we were going to be responsible for losing the midterms, that we were trying to force our colleagues to just take bad votes. We were told that people will leave Congress, that other members are considering not seeking re-election if they can't trade stocks. And then we are also told that, on a number of occasions and in different ways that, you're not being a team player. So it's not exactly easy to do what we're doing, but also too, then you have the aspect of you have planted articles and hit pieces. Oh, well, this isn't enough. This already exists. And so you actually are seeing those articles come out now trying to say that somehow laws are in place that are preventing this, but that's not true because they're not being A, enforced, and B, you can still trade individual stocks. So if I'm sitting on a committee, for example, I'll use House Armed Services and I'm voting for big weapons contracts. Let's say I'm voting for, a defense contractor to receive something, and then I'm purchasing stock prior to that purchase of that, and their stock goes up and then I sell. Guess what? I have insider information prior to that, and that's still happening.
I think that if you're a viewer right now who might not believe in bipartisanship, I would implore you to watch the full press conference that was yesterday talking about this because, I mean, it couldn't have been more cordial. Everyone was fist bumping, very complimentary of people across the aisle. It sounds like there's a lot of support. And I think something that a lot of the lawmakers yesterday were echoing were, we're going to get a vote on this one way or another. We're going to get this on the floor one way or another. So what's next? How are you getting a vote on it?
Well, they have a month to put something on the floor. And again, I'll say this, I constantly feel like I'm an adjudicator in this job. If they don't do it after a month, we'll call up a discharge petition. And if they try to kill that, we'll shut it down.
Shut down. What are you shutting down?
We're going to shut down the efforts to kill it, even if that means shutting down the floor.
And is there widespread support for that within Congress?
Well, we have a good cross section of some of the most vocal people in the country and the American people on our side. So I think it'll probably be a fight, but we'll win the fight. 100% we'll win the fight.